I'm Liam from off.road.cc, and today with me I've got the Marley 1.0, and today we're going to go over the new 2021 range and we're going to give you some ride impressions on the new bike. So for 2021, Ragley hasn't reinvented the wheel or gone down the long, low and slack route. Instead, they've done what they think they know best, and that is to create great frames with a decent spec at a very good price. Great for fans of the Big Owl. This year, Ragley has introduced the Big Owl 1.0, which sees a dropper post, a Mazzocchi Z2 fork and a Shimano 11-speed drivetrain. So what is new for the 2021 range? All bikes now come with a Shimano drivetrain, and steel bikes get a 4-pot brake caliper at the front for a little bit of extra braking. Then all bikes now come with Maxxis EXO Plus casing tyres, and they're all tubeless ready, so all you need to do is throw in your favourite sealant and stick on your favourite valves. Then another nice addition is that all large and extra large frames come with a 170mm dropper post. In the 2021 range, there's the Big Wig, and that's the Enduro hardtail that rolls on a 29-inch wheels, and there are two versions. There's the Big Wig Race, priced at £2,300, that comes with a RockShox Lyric Select RC with 160mm travel, along with a 2.5-inch Maxxis Assegai at the front with a 2.4-inch Minion DHR2 at the rear. Then there's the standard £2,000 Big Wig, which gets a RockShox Revelation with 140mm travel and a 2.5-inch Maxxis Minion at the front, and both of those get 4-pot Shimano brakes and 12-speed drivetrains. Next in the range is a Blue Pig, and that also comes in a Blue Pig race version. It's essentially the 27.5 650B version of the Big Wig, and in terms of spec, the only thing that changes is the 150mm travel fork that comes on the standard Blue Pig. For the Blue Pig, that will set you back £2,000, and the Blue Pig Race will cost you £2,300. Then the Piglet fills the gap as the 140mm travelled steel bike, which will set you back £2,000. That one gets a RockShox Revelation fork, a Shimano Dior 12-speed drivetrain with Shimano 4-piston brakes, and as for tyres, it gets a Maxxis Minion DHF with a 2.6-inch width, along with a DHR2 at the rear, which gets the same width. Onto the Unbop. It's the budget-friendly alloy counterpart to the Blue Pig, and that will set you back £1,400. It gets a Mazzocchi Bomber Z2 with 150mm travel, a Shimano Dior 11-speed drivetrain and Maxxis Minion tyres. The alloy bikes, including the Marley, are also available as a frame only, and they cost £350. And then there's the Big Owl 2.0. It's the Alloy 29er, which will set you back £1,100, and that comes with a RockShox Recon Silver with 140mm travel, a Shimano Dior 10-speed drivetrain, and Maxxis Minion tyres. The seat post on this one is rigid. As for our test bike, the Marley 1.0, it's priced at £1,400, while the Marley 2.0 is £1,100, and we'll get onto the specs of those a little bit later. And finally, for the gravel lovers out there, there's the Trig. That one costs £1,700 and gets Ragley's own carbon fork, 650B wheels, a Shimano 1x GRX drivetrain with WTB tyres and rims. If you're just after the frame and fork, that would set you back £650. Onto our Marley 1.0. It's the shortest travel alloy bike in the range, which comes with 130mm travel at the front. Ragley says that it's the underdog of the range, and it's at home ripping up your local trails. Our 130mm travel comes from a Mazzocchi Z2 Bomber, and that's loosely based around a Fox 34. If you didn't know, Mazzocchi is owned by Fox, and as such, this fork uses some of the same tech. We get the same bushings and we get a similar chassis, but that's where the similarities end. Mazzocchi have dumped their own rail damper into this fork, and to fit it, the chassis needs to be a little bit thicker, so we do get a bit of a weight penalty, but hopefully that should end up in some front end stiffness. The Marley is built around a 6061 alloy frame, which for the most part is externally routed, apart from the dropper post, which is internal to keep it an extra bit tidy. It's graced with a Shimano M5100 11-speed drivetrain, and it's one of the bikes built around an alloy frame, so it doesn't get the 4-pot caliper at the front. So our 650B Marley runs on WTB STI 30 rims, and they're laced to Nukeproof Neutron hubs, and then there's some nice Maxxis tyres. At the front we have a DHF, and at the rear we have the DHR2, both in 2.6-inch widths, and they come with EXO Plus casings. We also get a Brand X Ascend dropper post. Ours is 170mm, and it's one that scored well in our tests. Also in range is the Marley 2.0. That one loses the dropper post, gets a RockShox Recon Silver RL fork, and a Shimano 10-speed drivetrain. Moving on to the geometry, our Marley gets a 65.5 degree head angle with a 73 degree seat tube angle. We then get 425mm chainstays, and our size large gets 455mm reach. So that's reasonably modern geometry which places this bike firmly within its trail category. With that, let's move on to how the Marley rides. I've only had a couple of goes on it so far, and already it's proven to be an excellent all-rounder that begs to be ridden harder than it lets you believe. My usual bike is mega reachy 29 with 150mm rear suspension, and regardless of how different this bike is, it didn't feel long to feel at home, thanks to its 50mm stem, which makes the reach feel a little bit longer. And even after a couple of chilled rides on this, it's already showing to be a bike that's capable of more than it lets off. The first thing I noticed about this bike was how well composed it is over chattery terrain at speed, and that's in part thanks to the 2.6-inch EXO Plus casing tyres. So for those who don't know, EXO Plus sits between Max's EXO casing and double down casing, with double down being the toughest and heaviest, and EXO being the lightest and not quite as puncture resistant. So the EXO Plus is a blend of the two, and it just sits right in the middle between the puncture protection and weight. Agility is the name of the game with the Marley. With its 650B wheels and its middle of the road reach, it makes short work of zesty changes of direction in tight corners. As it's a hardtail, it accentuates its fork quite a lot, and that's not a bad thing on this bike. Ragley has been very wise to spec this bike with the Mazzocchi Z2 Bomber. It complies nicely to small bumps and provides enough support. It's a great fit for a bike of this travel at this price. Some people may be swayed by 11-speed shifting here, as it's not one of those mega modern 12-speed drivetrains. However, I haven't noticed a difference. Our cassette here is an 11 to 51 cassette, and that's basically what we get on the 12-speed anyway. It wasn't until I physically counted the gears before I realised that this was actually an 11-speed drivetrain. I was convinced that it was 12. The 65.5-degree head angle on this bike stretches the wheelbase to 186mm, and that strikes a nice balance between stability of speed and agility in the tight and twisty corners. That head angle also makes things a bit nicer when things get steeper and when the trail gets techier. So far, the Ragley Marley 1.0 is proving itself to be an impressively capable hardtail that might just tick all the boxes as a great all-rounder. Ragley has also done a great job of speccing this bike with budget-friendly parts that actually perform really well. Along with this bike, we'll have another review of a reasonably priced hardtail from Ragley, so do be sure to like and subscribe, and for the full review of this bike coming in the next few weeks, keep your eyes peeled on off.road.cc. Thanks very much.